So, in case you missed it, here is the summary for episode 9 of Stranger Things 5. Warning, there are major spoilers ahead. This is what happened. Vecna actually did die. The gates actually closed, and all the monsters are gone because the bridge has been collapsed, and 11 is missing, and no one knows what happened to her. The government declares the threat neutralized and seals everything, and Hawkins is left to recover. The story fades from public attention, but something else is happening. All the people who went to Dimension X, including Joyce, begin to change. At first, it looks like trauma, heightened awareness, sensitivity, strange dreams, but over time, it becomes clear that it is something else. They are developing abilities just like everybody who goes to Dimension X does. It's not all the same. It's not clean and controlled ones, but real ones. Some of them are telepathic. Some of them are telekinetic. And since there are at least 25 people who begin to notice these changes, it starts to have an effect. They find each other again, slowly, over years, drawn together by the recognition, rather than being purposeful about it. They realize something important. They were not born with these powers. They developed them through exposure to Dimension X. And as they begin comparing experiences, they understand that whatever happened to them opened something in their mind, something latent and something deeply human or otherworldly. They decide the only way to understand what is happening and the only way to develop these abilities safely is to expose the truth about what happened all those years ago. So with Nancy's help as a journalist, they begin to investigate. She knows where to look. They go through this entire process of stealing everything. They steal all the videotapes from Project Nina. They steal everything from Dr. Brenner's work and Dr. K's lab, and they release it all. And they prove that the government did not create people with powers. They created conditions, exposure, saturation, and trauma. The people were not engineered. They were unlocked. And once the truth is public, something unexpected happens. People who were never exposed to blood, Henry's blood, or Dimension X begin to report changes. Not everyone, but some. And they begin to realize that these abilities are more widespread than they thought. They are not limited to exposure alone. They start to see a pattern. The abilities emerge more easily in people who are particularly compassionate, who are particularly tolerant, who are particularly benevolent. People with a high capacity for empathy and care start developing these abilities. The powers weaken in people who are aggressive, controlling, or toxin, and they strengthen in people who are regulated, tolerant, and grounded. This is when Will opens a school. It's not a lab and it's not a military program. It is a place for gifted people to learn how to live with what is opening inside of them. That is when 11 is finally safe to return. She can come forward now. Jane comes forward. She teaches with Will. They teach people how to develop their abilities, but more importantly, how to manage them, how to regulate their nervous systems, how to integrate fear instead of projecting it. People want these capabilities, but they quickly learn that they cannot access them without changing themselves. They have to become more benevolent, less hierarchical, less violent, and as more people develop these abilities, the nature of reality begins to shift and change. The government loses power, not through revolution, but through irrelevance. Control structures weaken as fear stops working the way it used to, and a new balance emerges. It's compassionate, it's tolerant, and it's peaceful. It's not perfect, and it's not everywhere, but it's enough to shift the direction of the world. The story does not end with a final battle. It ends with transformation, with the fundamental understanding that if you are capable of being able to develop yourself as an individual, that you can do more. Maybe that's the version you want.